The room was filled with balloons that no one touched, a cake that no one cut, and a silence so heavy it felt louder than music. The paralyzed CEO's daughter sat alone at the long table, her small wheelchair positioned carefully beneath streamers and golden lights meant for celebration. It was her birthday, yet the empty chairs around her felt like a cruel reminder that money could decorate a room, but it could not force people to stay. Her eyes wandered across the polished floor, reflecting candles that had been lit hours ago, each one slowly melting as time passed, just like her quiet hope that someone would come. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of compassion, take a moment to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this remind us that even small acts can change lives forever. She had learned early in life that her father's world was built on boardrooms, numbers, and relentless ambition. The accident that took her ability to walk had also taken something else from him, though he never admitted it. He became distant, protective, and obsessively controlling, convinced that money and security could replace presence and warmth. Her birthdays became carefully planned events organized by assistants, filled with luxury but missing laughter. Children from elite families came once, maybe twice, but discomfort always followed them. They did not know how to sit with her stillness, how to look at her without pity, or how to stay when the novelty faded. So year after year, the room grew quieter. This birthday felt heavier than the others. She was older now, old enough to understand why people avoided her and wise enough to stop expecting miracles. She smiled politely when staff passed by, thanking them for decorations she had not asked for. In her heart, she wished for something simpler than gifts or attention. She wished for someone who would see her as a person before seeing the wheelchair. Outside the tall glass windows, the city moved on without noticing her loneliness, cars flowing like rivers of indifference. At the edge of the celebration space stood a man who did not belong there. He was a single father, invited only because his daughter was enrolled in a scholarship program funded by the CEO's company. He had come to pick up paperwork and leave quickly, but when he saw the empty party and the young girl sitting alone, something inside him slowed. Life had taught him how isolation felt. After his wife passed away, he learned to raise his child while carrying grief quietly, never wanting to burden others with his pain. He recognized the same silence in the girl's posture, the way her eyes searched the room without asking for anything. He hesitated, knowing the invisible lines that separated people like him from families like hers. His clothes were simple, his hands worn from work, his life held together by responsibility and love rather than wealth. But something stronger than fear guided him forward. He did not come with grand intentions or rehearsed kindness. He simply came because leaving felt wrong. In that moment, the power imbalance between a billionaire's daughter and a struggling single parent disappeared, replaced by something honest and human. The change was subtle at first. Her attention shifted when she noticed someone approaching without the stiff politeness she was used to. There was no performance in his presence, no careful distance. He pulled a chair close, not too close, just enough to share the space. He talked about ordinary things, about his daughter's excitement for small victories, about how birthdays were not always perfect but could still matter. Without realizing it, she began to feel seen. Not admired, not pitied, just acknowledged. The room did not feel as empty anymore. As minutes passed, the atmosphere softened. The candles no longer felt like reminders of time slipping away but like witnesses to something new forming. She laughed, surprised by the sound of her own joy. It had been a while since laughter came without effort. The single dad listened without rushing, giving her the rare gift of patience. For the first time that day, she did not feel like a symbol of tragedy or a fragile responsibility. She felt like a child on her birthday, unseen by them. Her father watched from a distance. He had returned early from a meeting, expecting to walk into applause and smiles. Instead, he found a quiet scene that unsettled him more than emptiness ever had. His daughter was smiling, genuinely smiling, and the cause was not money, gifts, or luxury. It was a stranger who had nothing to offer except time and understanding. In that moment, something cracked inside him. He realized how often he had tried to protect her by isolating her, how his fear had built walls that kindness could not cross. The single dad did not stay long. He understood when to step back, when a moment had done its work. Before leaving, he wished her well in a simple, heartfelt way, trusting that sincerity mattered more than promises. When he walked away, the room felt different, lighter, as if the silence had learned how to breathe. The girl looked at the cake again, and this time it did not feel like an accusation. It felt like an invitation to begin. What followed was not a dramatic transformation overnight, but a quiet shift that echoed through days and weeks. Her father began to show up differently, not with solutions but with presence. He listened more, spoke less, and allowed her world to expand beyond controlled environments. The memory of that birthday stayed with her, a reminder that connection could come from unexpected places and that kindness did not require permission or status. Just before the ending, we ask you to comment below and share what this story made you feel, because your words might be the encouragement someone else needs today. Near the end of that year, she celebrated another milestone, not with grand decorations, but with a small group of people who truly cared. Among them was the single dad and his daughter, now friends rather than strangers. The girl no longer measured her worth by who showed up, because she had learned that even one sincere presence could outweigh a room full of emptiness. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share it, because stories of quiet kindness deserve to travel far, reminding the world that sometimes, all it takes to change a life is the courage to walk over and sit down.